All right, welcome back, everybody. So now we'll start talking about Pygame. So let us start game development series. So we are done with Python fundamentals. We are done with files. So now let us go into using Python to create games. So we'll be looking at introduction to Pygame. Pygame is a library that we use to create games in Python. So what is Pygame? Pygame is a cross-platform. When we say something is cross-platform, it means that it can be used on Windows operating system, Linux, Mac, any operating system at all. So it is cross-platform in the sense that it can be used on any operating system. It is open source library in the sense that it is not nobody owns it. It is like a public project. Anybody can contribute to it, and it's also free. So it is a library. It is a cross-platform open source library built on top of the simple direct media layer. This simple direct media layer is a low-level multimedia library written in C. Now, the thing is that when you start working with games, you need to use programming languages like C or C++. Those programming languages that are very, very fast. So now, for the thing is that not C and C++ they are very, very hard to learn. So, but somebody actually built this simple direct media layer. All right, the Pygame is actually built on top of this C library. So somebody actually gave us a higher abstraction to the hard C or C++ layer. So the simple direct media layer is a low-level library written in C. So the Pygame is written on top of the C library called simple direct media layer. Pygame allows Python developers to create 2D games and multimedia applications without needing to write. So Pygame allows Python developers to create 2D games, multimedia applications without needing to write complex graphics, sound, or input handling code from scratch. So this library is built on top of the C library that helps us to actually do this. So the thing is that writing game applications are actually hard because you need to use C language, C++, or C sharp. Those languages are very hard to learn. But with Python, when you understand with Python, with this Pygame now, it is going to be easy for you to use Python to at least to start to learn. Then when you actually, after learning this now, you're very good at using Python to write. Then you can now go on to learn C, C++, or C sharp, okay? Pygame acts as a bridge between Python and your computer's hardware. When you're creating games, all right, your game is actually talking to your computer hardware directly. So Pygame is a library that stands between your Python program and your computer hardware, making it easy to display graphics, play sound, receive keyboard and mouse input, and manage game timing. So Pygame is a free and open source Python library designed for creating 2D games, multimedia applications, and interactive programs. It provides ready-made tools that allow programmers to easily work with graphics. So the creators of Pygame have actually made it very easy for you to create applications that work with graphics, images, animations, keyboard input, mouse input, sound, music, timers, collision detection. So instead of writing everything from scratch, Pygame provides these features in simple Python functions. The thing is that libraries, these are the things libraries do for us. They make life easier for us so that instead of you to write everything from scratch, you actually have to get a library that somebody or some people have written and they make it easy for you. So what's the history of Pygame? Pygame was created in 2000 by Peter Shinas. It was designed to make game development in Python simple and enjoyable. Normally, before Pygame, games are being created using low-level languages like C, C++, or even C sharp, okay? But for Python developers now, Pygame now make it easy to develop game, okay? Since then, it has become one of the most popular libraries for teaching game programming, and it's used by students, educators, hobbyists, and independent game developers around the world. Now, Pygame, when you develop games with Pygame, it might not be as sophisticated as the one you develop with C++, C sharp, or C. But the thing is that you cannot jump into those ones right now. You need to learn with Python and Pygame. understand, make it easier for, it's like you gradually putting your leg inside the sea. Okay. Why choose Pygame? Pygame offers several advantages, easy to learn for beginners. So if you want to learn game development, all right, the easy way to learn is using Python and Pygame. It uses Python's simple and readable syntax. So Pygame, all the things that we have done so far, all right, that's what we'll be using. It's completely free and open source. It runs on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. That is why it is cross-platform. It has a large and active community, extensive documentation and tutorials. So suitable for educational and professional projects too. It encourages creativity through interactive programming. So Pygame makes it easy to learn game development. Okay, Pygame is an excellent choice for beginners because it is easy to learn. You already know Python. All right, Python is also easy to learn. Python is easier to learn than C# or C++. All right, it is built with Python. You already know Python, so it's a win-win. Beginner friendly. It is cross-platform. It is free to use. Supported by a large community. Great for learning game development concepts. So when you like, if you want to go into game development, Python and Pygame is actually a very good start for beginners. So many professional developers begin learning game programming with Pygame, then they move to larger game engines. All right. So you start with Pygame, then you can now move to larger game engines. What can you build with Pygame? You can create arcade games, platform games, puzzle games, snake games, space shooters, racing, all of this. Okay? All of this. Pygame is commonly used for learning game programming, school coding projects, STEM education, robotics interfaces, and all of this. So it is very easy to use. It's very easy to learn. So it's also easy for prototyping game ideas. Of course, when you use Pygame to write games, they might not be as efficient as the ones you write using C#, C++, or C, but you can use Pygame for prototyping, building small indie games. So what are the requirements? We need to install Pygame. Make sure you have Python 3 installed. Of course, you have a code editor, you have internet connection, and the command prompt or the terminal access. So we are going to use pipe. Now, we have never installed, we have been using the built-in libraries all this while that we've been working. We have been using the built-in libraries. We have been using the built-in libraries. We have not installed any external library. So we'll be doing that now. So we use pipe. Pipe stands for pipe installs packages. So it's used to install external packages to your Python project. So it is Python's package manager. So we use it to install other libraries. It allows you to install external libraries like Pygame, NumPy. Don't worry, we're still going to take a look at NumPy and Pandas when we start talking about machine learning and AI. Flask, Django. Now, if you want to do web development with Python, okay, so pipe is used to install. Okay, so but before you install Pygame, make sure that check the version of Python that you're using. Make sure that you're using make sure that you're using Py. Make sure that you're using 3.12. All right. Don't use the latest version of Python. Pygame doesn't work too well with it. So now let us go and it's either you use Python or you use Py. So I'll say Py install or pipe install Pygame. Pygame. Okay. Okay, so I will use py -m pipe install Pygame. So it's installing it. Okay, now it is installed. Okay, our Pygame is installed. So make sure that you're using 3.12. Don't use 3.14. Okay, don't use 3.14. Pygame doesn't work too well with it. So in case you have any issues installing Pygame, please reach out to me. All right, reach out to me. So how do you verify your installation? Let us run import Pygame. So I'll be using Py here. But what I can do is this. Okay, I would use Py here. I would say Py. Instead of Python, I'm using Py. Then I can say import Pygame. This is how you test. You can either use Py or you use Python. Okay, you can say import Pygame, and you can see there is no error. There is no error. It says hello from Pygame community. There is no error. So it's either you use Python to start your interpreter or you use Py to start your interpreter, anyone that is comfortable for you. And you can see now there is no error. So Pygame is installed. So we are successful here. So I can also say print pygame.var. So if I go back here, I can say print pygame.var and 2.61. So Pygame is installed properly. Pygame is installed properly. Pygame is installed properly. Okay. So if no error appears, of course, it means that Pygame is installed correctly. So we can exit the Python or the Py using the exit method. So if I want to exit, I'll say exit. I will hit and I have exited. Okay. So let us importing Pygame. Every Pygame program starts by importing the library. So if you want to create your game, you must import Pygame. You must import Pygame in your file. So you have to import Pygame. So this step Python to load all the tools inside of Pygame library. So now let me create a file. I can call it pygame.py. So first thing I'm going to do is to import Pygame here. Just like we import every other module. All right. So that's the first thing to do. Okay. So I can run Py. I can say Py. Instead of Python, I'm using Py. Pygame.py. All right. And so you see everything is okay. There is no error. So we have Pygame installed. So this is the first thing. Whenever you're creating a game, the first thing you do is to install Pygame. This tells Python to load all the tools necessary for Pygame library. So, and again, after importing Pygame, the next thing you need to do is to initialize Pygame. Before using Pygame, you have to initialize it. So you say pygame.init function, call the init function. So after importing, I will now say Pygame. You must do this, pygame.init. You must do this. So what does this thing do? It prepares all the Pygame modules, such as graphics, fonts, sound for use. It will prepare you. It's like it's preparing your Pygame for use. So always run it. So now when you're creating a game, you have to create a window. Remember that game is a graphical user interface. All right. So you have to create a window. So how do you create a window? We create a display window by calling pygame.display.set_mode. So I can, after initializing, I will say pygame.display.set pygame.display.set_mode. It wasn't giving me IntelliSense, that is why. Set_mode. And then this set_mode takes a tuple. All right. The first value there would be, if I say 400 by 300, I am saying that the height of the window will be 400 and the width will be 300. So you can actually save it save this, it returns the screen. So I can say, I can call this screen is equal to this. So I'm actually saving. So this is the window screen that our users will be seeing. Okay. Don't worry, we'll go deeper into this. So in this case, we are saying 800. 800 is the width and 600 is the height. So the first value there is the width and the second value is the height. So it takes a tuple. Remember, we talked about tuples. Okay. So you can also set the title by saying pygame.display.set caption. So let us set the title. I will say pygame.display.set caption, not title underscore caption. So what do I want to name this? I will call him my first Pygame. My first Pygame. My first Pygame. My first game. Okay, I can just say my first game. That will be the title. And then this title appears at the top of the game window. So when I run this, you're going to see it appears at the top of the game window. Now, if I run this now, you're going to see we are going to have, if I say Pygame, okay, so it says like pygame.init. Partially initialized module Pygame has no attribute init. Import Pygame. Oh my God, see, Oh, sorry. I shouldn't use this name. I shouldn't use, let me just call it main, please. Let me call it main because, yes, let me call it main because this thing is confusing Pygame. That thing is like a module too. So no wonder I wasn't even getting, sorry. No one, you can see everything has changed. So please don't name your file Pygame, please, because it will confuse, all right, so now everything you can see everything is because I wasn't getting IntelliSense. No wonder. Okay, so I will just run this again. It says okay, sorry, I should say main.py, not no longer Pygame. Main.py. You can see our window. Now you can see the window flashed, but we are coming to that. The window flashed, so but we are coming to that. It flashed and it went out. Okay, so we are coming to that. Okay. So now let's understand coordinates. Pygame uses XY coordinate system. All right. Your top left corner, all right. Your top left corner starts from 0, 0, 0, and S increases to the right. So top left corner, 0, 0, 0 is the uh, 0, 0 is the top left corner, and the X will be increasing towards the right, while the Y increases downward. We are going to see talk more about this coordinate system. So this is what it looks like. This is, your window looks like this. This is the Y and this is the X. So if you want to, when we start talking about movement of objects, okay, if you want them to move, you will be adjusting the coordinates. But don't worry, let me not bug you too much with all these things. So we'll talk about them later. So there's something we call the game loop. Your game, you can see that immediately I run that program, the window closed. So the game loop is what keeps the screen running. So a game constantly updates the screen many times per second. So this continuous cycle is called the game loop. We'll talk more about it. So inside the game loop, the program repeatedly checks for events, updates game, draws, graphics, refreshes the screen. Okay. Without a game loop, the window would open and immediately close. That's what happened here. We don't have a game loop here yet. So if I run this, command again, it will just open and close because there is no game loop. Okay. Now, if you want to create a simple game loop, this is the simplest game loop we can create. So um, I can say we use the while loop to create a game loop. I can say while true. Okay. For now, I'll just say pass. So let's go and run the file again. Py main.py. You can see now it is steady now. because we now have a game loop. You can see the title. My first game is the title. All right. And you can see it is 400, 300. So if I close it now, I can close it. It's not responding. Okay. Close the program. My system is somehow hanging. You can see, all right. So now if I want to increase, if I increase it to 800, width of 800 and height of 600, and then I come back and run this program again, you can see it's now bigger. It's now bigger. Now the thing is that you can see now that my system is trying to hang. Your system needs to be very strong to run to create games. Your system needs to be very strong to create games. All right, because it's using, if I open the task manager now, it is running it's using a lot of resources. So um, maybe I will need to restart my system, but that will be after this, okay? Because my system has been on for some time now. So now this is the simplest loop. This means that it's telling the game to continue to run, all right? But don't worry, we'll dig deeper into it. The loop continues until running becomes false, until I change the Y to false, until I find a way to change it to false, okay? Now, we can also handle events. Events include keyboard presses, mouse clicks, all these things we are going to do them. All right, window resizing. Pygame checks for these events like this. So for event in Pygame dot, now I am going to, for event in Pygame dot events dot get, we print the event. So Pygame also, while the loop is running, I can say for event, in pygame dot events dot get, no, pygame, what's the pygame dot event dot get, for event in pygame dot get. Okay, I want to print the event. So for whatever event, if I run this code again, all right, and then I hit enter, okay, you can watch it. You can see there's a lot of, see, watch. As I take my, you see the mouse, you can see. Okay, so look at it. Let me take this thing out somewhere. You can see the events. The events, you can see, this is mouse event. Okay, if I do enter, I'm hitting enter. Okay, you can see the event. So Pygame responds to events. Look at this mouse. You can see this mouse event. So this is how we actually listen to events to actually know what the user has actually done. And if I click close now, all right, if I click close, okay, so I'm not quitting. That is why. I didn't say when I wrote this code, so I will just have to stop this because with the code I have written now, I didn't ask for quitting. Okay, so that is why that event didn't quit. That is why we didn't quit it. So let me close this. Let me close this. All right, so let me close it now. But this is how we catch event. But because I wasn't quitting on any of the event, that is why the window didn't close. So now, how do you close the game properly? So we need to dictate the close button. So whenever the event type is pygame.quit, then we can now quit. So remember, okay, let's say I'm going to say uh, I'm checking for the event, and if event dot type, okay, is equal to pygame dot what was it again? Is equal to pygame dot quit. If the event type is pygame dot quit, Then I want to break from this loop. Pygame.quit. Then what do I want to do? I want to break from this loop. Okay. So now let's run again. Py main.py. All right. So it says if I click on this close button now, the event type is actually pygame.quit. And if I click on it, it closes. Okay, sorry, something is wrong. Okay. Okay, so okay. Now, okay, so I will say running is equal to true here. Then I would use running. And then if the event is this, I will now say running is equal to false. So let's run again and see that close button. If I click on it now, it should close. All right. And if we even, I can say print event, sorry. I can say print event dot type. Okay. So I will run again. So immediately I click on it. All right. Uh, okay, now, because this quit, don't worry, we'll talk about this quit is actually a constant. So, and the value is we get all this. So these are a couple of events that actually run. So, but don't worry, this will be confusing for now. We'll talk more about the Pygame constants, the quit, and other ones. So immediately, if you click on the close window button, the event type is equivalent to pygame.quit. All right, and then we are now turning the running here to be false, and then this while loop would actually stop running. So that is why the game ended. Okay, so always end your game program with program.pygame.quit. Okay, so this simply closes the game and releases system resources. So this is what I could actually do. I could actually, instead of once I call running is equal to false, always come back here and say pygame dot quit. Call this function. Always call this function at the end of your game. Or even so now if I close it, all right, pygame dot quit or even sys.exit. Okay, so but we'll just keep going. So let us write a full complete Pygame program. We import Pygame, we initialize the Pygame, we create our screen, we add caption, then we create our game loop, running equal to true. Then while running, we will check for the event. If the event is equal to event type is a pygame.quit, we close, running becomes false, and then we call pygame.quit. So this is the full one. So now that is exactly what we have here. So this is a full game program. Yes, it's very simple, but don't worry, we're going to learn how to add more, both music, sound, and every other thing. But this is the simplest game we can actually create. Okay. How does it work? We are importing Pygame library. We are initializing the Pygame. You have to initialize for you to use Pygame, you need to import it. For every other thing to work very well on Python, you have to initialize the Pygame. So we call pygame.init function. We create a screen of 800 width, 600 height. We set the title. We start the game loop. We create a variable running equal to true. Then we say while running. Okay, of course, while running, then the loop will keep running. But as soon as the close button from the window is clicked, then we are quitting. We listen for events and then we close the game when the user clicks the close button. That's exactly what we have done here. Okay, that's exactly what we have done here. We import Pygame, we initialize Pygame, we create a screen, we set caption, we create a variable equal to true, and while this running is true, we keep the event loop. The event loop must be running for the game, for the window to be there. All right. Then we are checking for events. So the first one we checked is if the user clicks on the window close button. And once it is equal to pygame.quit, we are um, changing the variable to false, and then it will quit the window, and then we must call pygame.quit. So Pygame is a Python library for creating 2D games. The game window displays where the game runs. The game loop continuously keeps the game running. Event is an action such as key press or mouse click, mouse over, all those things. You will see more about events. Pygame.init initializes all Pygame modules. This init function initializes all Pygame modules. Pygame.quit closes the game and cleans up resources. Set mode creates the game window. Set caption sets the window title, and pygame.quit is an event triggered when the window is closed. We'll see more of other events. Common mistake, forgetting to install Python. You have to install Python first. And like I said, of course, before you get to this point, you are already running your Pygame. So if your Pygame was difficult to install, um, you have to use Python 3.12, not 3.14. 3.13 might also work. Just check it out. If you have any difficulty, always reach out to me. Forgetting to call pygame.init. If you don't call pygame.init, things will not go well. Forgetting the game loop, the window closes immediately. Not handling the quit event. Forgetting to call pygame.quit. Always call pygame.quit. Best practices: import all required libraries at the beginning of your program. Always initialize Pygame. Use descriptive window titles. Keep your game loop simple and organized. Always close the game properly with pygame.quit and test your code after every single change, every small change. Okay. So thank you very much. I will see you in the next class where we start developing more games.